Hello, I'm Interweb Studios and today we ask Reddit what is an embarrassing story you have not told anyone about. Most of the stories were people jerking off in different places, so I have done my best to filter those out, but I have included a few of the funniest ones. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what type of jelly you put in your PB&J. With that out of the way, sit back and enjoy. When I was 19 I paid $350 for the services of a woman of the night. I left and went to a friend's house where they were having a party. I got very drunk and realized I left my phone charger at this woman's motel. So I took an Uber back and she wouldn't let me back in again unless I paid, so I gave her another $350, did the dirty deeds and grabbed my charger and left. It wasn't until the next day I realized I could have just spent $10 on a new charger. Man, I wouldn't even catch an Uber a short distance for a phone charger. Phone charger no longer in my possession? It's dead to me. I was pretty messed up that night and completely devoid of any form of logical thinking whatsoever. The real NSFW was poor financial management. Not safe for wallet. I had an orgasm while running away from an angry chihuahua when I was 8 years old. No ejaculating, just the sensation. I spent the rest of that summer trying to get that chihuahua to chase me. Okay, this one is my favorite. There's gotta be something to this, because my first orgasm was in elementary school when I was supposed to run in a race and forgot, and then everyone yelled at me to go run right after it started. Got a weird rush and a very confusing feeling down there. It was years after that when I got my first intentional one. I put the peanut butter knife into the jelly jar without cleaning it. Straight to hell. Over the last year I've gone from being like almost 300 pounds and miserable to 150 pounds and fit as duck. My parents, co-workers and doctor are all like, "Wow, this is so amazing, I'm proud of you. How did you do it?" Most people can't do that without WLS. And I just laugh and say, "Oh, calorie deficit," which I mean is true, but not the whole story. What actually happened was I apparently had a bad binge eating disorder I was in denial about, and that's what stopped any attempts dead in their tracks. Last year on a 3-day weekend I came home and decided, I got 3 days off, time to fly, and proceeded to take 5 tabs of LSD. Then it swung hard into bad trip territory and I felt like I was going to just straight up die while watching the carpet bubble. Then after the trip I realized whatever was in my brain that made me get dopamine rushes from food and crave food while stressed and depressed just was deleted. Gone. Poof. So I just ran with it. Like only 3 people know what actually happened. It's not like an awful secret, but I'm not going to tell my parents or coworkers like, "Yeah, I got lit the duck up on LSD and accidentally cured my eating disorder." I dunno, man, I don't make the rules. That's really cool. I've heard that the difficult trips can be the most helpful in terms of correcting harmful thought patterns. One day I went over to my buddy's place and we were drinking at 2 a.m. He's like, "Yo, check this out," and shows me a pound of mushrooms he got and asked if I wanted to try some. I was like, duck it, and shoved them in my mouth. Had a super hard trip and walked home at 5 a.m. barefoot. I don't know what happened, but my chronic social anxiety was cut in half. I also had very short-term memory from a concussion after getting jumped a few years ago. After that trip, my memory started working again. I can't wait to get more. I had a girlfriend in college who had a cum fetish. She would jerk me off into her toothbrush and sit there and keep it in her mouth while we watched Drive. How Save lives on TV. A few times she jerked me off into her food. That was weird. I saw her on Facebook a few years ago. She sells bath bombs and stuff like that. I wouldn't buy from her though. Religious teacher locked me in her classroom as a punishment, so I busted in her Bible and left it on the desk. What the duck, 13-year-old me was thinking IDK, but nothing was ever mentioned of it after, haha. To answer the questions that's been asked 100 times. No, I don't remember which page it was on, just somewhere near the middle. Jacked off at a family reunion in a spare room with the door open. I still have nightmares of someone walking in. My first time ejaculating was when I was playing The Sims 2 after discovering that the blur disappears when you used move objects on and pull your sim out of the shower. Would make hot and attractive Sims just so I could see them naked. Tracy Morgan taught me how to jerk off. When I was 12, he had a stand-up special on Comedy Central. One joke he told was about waiting for his wife and kids to leave the house so he could whack it in peace. He used the microphone to mimic the act. I had come before that, but never on purpose. When I saw him doing that, it was like a light bulb went on in my head. I immediately went upstairs to my bathroom and discovered my new hobby. I had a 1.5-year-long relationship with my best friend's mother. We've never told anyone. That's ducked up, dude. You could have been his father he never had. It would be my honor to be your new stepfather. And while you're in my mother, make me another brother. I had to go bad, and felt my inner colon painting. I ran into the supply room and shit in a box. It was horrible, smelled so pungent too. I dumped a bunch of random stuff inside and taped the box closed and carried it out, like I was getting needed supplies. Well, thank you for getting rid of it. Much more considerate than other people. I paid for WinRAR back in 2006. That there is a lot to unpack. Had a very special bear in my closet when I was 13-14 that I finished inside basically every night. One day I come home and can't find it, and start freaking out thinking my parents found it. I ask my parents what happened to some of the stuff in my closet, and they said they donated some clothes and stuffed animals to a children's charity. Oh, they knew, just let you off nicely. That's a good parents. Definitely nice for the situation. It took me a few months to realize, wait a second, I've never seen my parents donate any clothes. I'm not sure which version makes me more uncomfortable, so I usually stick with the original one. I wonder when the BuzzFeed article is coming out? Definitely going to be a voice-over video on TikTok with Subway Surfer in the background. Or a YouTube short with Minecraft parkour. I've sent semi-nudes to my father. After my mom left him, I helped set up his online dating profile. He wasn't getting any responses, so I pretended to be a match. We exchanged some messages and I sent him some pictures to build his self-esteem. I could tell how much his confidence grew, so I know it helped him during an emotionally difficult time. He's got a long-term girlfriend now, so all is good. This one is wild. What the duck? Either the act itself or this comment will eventually come back to bite me in the ass, but it's been 15 years, so duck it. Smacking the shit out of an asshole child, fellow camper during summer camp. Kid was being an absolute terror to everyone, scream crying at night, destroying things, etc. etc. It was clear the parents coddled him, treated him like their little perfect prince, and never disciplined him. They also called the camp multiple times a day to speak to him, which was against the rules. The kid needed a swift kick in the ass and to finally be told, no. No one dared touch the kid, for obvious reasons, but one day he went too far and I'd had enough. I was a junior counselor in training at the time and was supervising the archery course. The kid was terrible at it and was getting irate that other kids were hitting the target and he wasn't. So he took an arrow and began hitting the kid next to him with it. I snatched the arrow from him and he immediately let out a blood-curdling scream like a banshee that just wouldn't end, so I smacked him upside his head and told him to STFU. By some miracle it worked on the spot. Kid was practically an angel the rest of the week. It was like I literally knocked some sense into him. Early 80s had a 6th grade teacher that was physically, emotionally, and verbally abusive. She would make us go get glasses of water for her during class. When it was my turn, I would get water out of the toilet and spit in it. Considering I was a very shy, quiet kid, still surprises me I did it. Paid for, watched my coworkers' OnlyFans live. This isn't bad at all, but I feel bad. I've told every girl I ever slept with that I was a virgin. I found out early that girls seem to think it's awesome to take a dude's virginity, and it usually sealed the deal. So there's like 13 girls out there in the world who all took my virginity. My man, putting the con in conquest. I had to laugh so hard that I peed in an elevator because I couldn't hold my laughter. There was a stranger with me going 20 floors up. The entire elevator was full of piss. I was 12. I think it's crazy how many people are admitting their deepest secrets just because someone on the internet asked them to. Anyways, my girlfriend likes to degrade me, and I let her. Edit. I hate you all. I tried to suck my own dick, which gave me a hernia that still is painful sometimes even 30 years later. Moral: when young, stretch every day. Edit. I did succeed, but I did not swallow. that was one bridge too far, so since I did not dare to climax I stopped doing it. It did not feel like sucking a dick at all but felt like getting it sucked 100%. I got the hernia surgically fixed, still the metal plate is annoying sometimes but nothing that bad. I cut a hole in my mattress when I was a kid and tried to duck it. Hit the bed springs on the first stroke. My dick just curled up back into my body upon reading that. Boing, boing, bonk. Had an ex-boyfriend who liked it when I used my Minnesotan accent in bed, did it a few times and now the thought of it makes me shudder. I had a Pornhub account, and had a pretty big fanbase. I made money by selling videos on Snapchat, this was before OnlyFans was a thing. I was 23 and could use the money. I loved the attention and I loved the excitement. I even did it for free in the beginning. For the Dutchies, I also was pretty big on gent student ha ha ha. Masturbated in principal's office to his daughter's picture. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for sticking around this long and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what kind of jelly you eat in your PB&J and until next time.